please join us. Requesting Neha ma'am to please join the leaders as well for a picture perfect moment with Sussanne Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, the true icon, the mastermind behind Platinum Stella.
One picture.
I'm so delighted to meet you and you look so stunning, Sussanne.
Sussanne ji, यहाँ पर
That lady needs no introduction. Yes, definitely a solo picture, ladies and gentlemen. The family of Platinum Pearl, and we're so delighted to have her as a part. Sussanne Khan, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, absolutely, as you already are, ladies and gentlemen. As we know that some spaces impress, but some spaces will experience here at Platinum Stella. And the 3 stars have already begun, they are here. Sussanne, I would request you to please take the center chair. The true reflection and the real star behind. Center, oh very own and the super gorgeous stunning Sussanne. Ladies and gentlemen, and the real hero, the real star behind Platinum Pearl, the person who needs no introduction. Rajesh Khattar, everybody! And of course, somebody is going to be moderating this section, ladies and gentlemen, who of course do not need any introduction, quite viral on Instagram or any other social media that you all can think of, who breathes social media and real estate, of course, quite known in the industry and also is the founder of an edtech firm related to real estate. Here we have Rajesh Khattar. Round of applause, everybody, come on. And I think it's time that
everyone for coming, and this is going to be a beautiful evening. I'm super excited to be sharing the stage with the ever so graceful and elegant Sussanne Khan, right? And Mr. Vishal Khattar as well, who's not only a friend but a mentor in the industry. So very good evening. Everyone are welcome to the grand unveiling of Platinum Stella, a project that brings together design, development, vision, and a deep understanding of luxury living in the heart of Mumbai's most coveted neighborhood. Right, and today we have 2 special forces that are going to make this possible. So first, Sussanne Khan. She's not only a celebrity designer but also a conceptual luxury designer who brings together emotion and experience and not just the aesthetics. Right? So super excited to get into your mind to understand how you design Stella. And then we have Vishal Khattar, who's an architect turned developer, and he understands the finer nuances of not only architecture and design but also construction, development, and most importantly delivering a project. Right? So let's get going. Sussanne, you come from a family of many creative and artistic people. Right? You've always grown up around people who are artistic, creative. How has that shaped your design narrative overall? How has that shaped you as a designer?
Very interesting question, I must say. And firstly, thank you for the warm welcome and the beautiful introduction. I'm very honored to be here. When Vishal and Nishka first came to me and we spoke about this project, I think I just have to say before I start off, it almost felt like I was conversing with 2 very passionate, intelligent minds, and having architects also as developers is a very rare thing. So when I was chatting with them, I could understand that there was this very beautiful synergy between us, and it took us a lot of passion, and we still have just started we finished the design story, but we have to start the execution story. So I'm really excited about this project, and I think it's going to be one of its kind.
As we all are.
And coming back to your question, I have to say that I have been born in a very, a creative family. My father, Mr. Sanjay Khan, my mother, Mrs. Zareen Khan. I think that both of them were extremely, my mom is no more, but she's always with me. She's my guiding angel. She has always taught me, and so has my father, to always, think. Do not be, confined to your thoughts when you create something, and to completely think out of the box or out of your, your capacity. And I think that growing up with two really strong individuals who were so, who let my mind be so free and so comfortable, allowed me to, have those dreams that a young girl would have. And I think that at a very young age, I knew I wanted to do design, because we used to get those magazines, and those days used to come from the US Architectural Digest, and I used to come, and I used to look at these magazines and always wonder that, I want to one day be I want to be in this field of creating homes. So I think that the entire seed of the way my home was, the way the table was set, the way the people were treated when they came guests. I think all of that came to say that these were very warm, homely people. We didn't have so much at that time, but whatever they did have, they used to really make their guests feel very special and create a very great atmosphere for that person who came home. So I think that automatically set in all of us, and so that's where the seed began.
It's an interesting take of hospitality. Vishal, the question to you is, when you first picked this project up, right, Platinum is Stellar, what was going on in your mind in regards to the vision, and how did you conceptualize it?
So I have grown up and spent most of my years between Santa Cruz and Thar. So I understand this area really well. I realized that this particular area, Bandra, Thar, Santa Cruz belt, of late in the last 10-15 years has been doing a lot of luxury projects. The expectations of the customer and the home buyers here has changed. But unfortunately, the buildings that are being constructed here are still, following a very stereotypical approach to luxury. We decided that we want to, when we say luxury, what we really mean is that we're not just buying something which is large and expensive. What it should do is it should just become a part of your lifestyle. It should be an extension of your lifestyle. You shouldn't really have to change your lifestyle to be able to live in a house, but the house should be able to, adapt to your lifestyle. That was going on in our mind, and we wanted to keep this project low density, because it's very, very tranquil neighborhood. We wanted the customers, the home buyers to experience good views all around. So we had some very specific architectural thoughts when we took up this project. And that's the reason why we brought in Sussanne, because I think more over and above what we really wanted to do as builders, what we really wanted is a very strong design voice, someone who can also tell us where we are going wrong, and Sussanne really has done that a lot of times. We just didn't need a design consultant, we need somebody with a voice, and she's got an excellent ability to go beyond aesthetics. She knows exactly how to make a space feel beyond it, making it just look good. She knows how a space should feel, apart from making it look good. So that's the reason why this project and why Sussanne.
Thank you so much. I must add to what Vishal is saying, is that the start and the journey that we had, kind of adapted to, we started off in a particular way and then we kept adding and we kept adding. And we realized that what we were adding was only going to be beneficial for this community that was going to live here. And we all were like-minded in our thoughts, so that's what really like kind of gelled and that gave me the support to kind of think more. And yeah, so I think that's, now you can carry on and ask your question.
I think you're a great spoke of luxury, and obviously luxury can be interpreted in various ways, right? It often is subjective. What is your idea of luxury, Sussanne?
So, honestly, I think that luxury is not always only what you see. And it is what you feel when you walk into that space. It is almost how the air feels, how fresh the air feels, how clean and pure the touch feels of what you touch, or how what exactly does the vibe of that zone make you kind of incorporate into what you're doing. So I think that luxury now is it is a word that should be used more towards the feeling and the emotion that it brings to you, rather than just the expensive materials that you use, what you can just use. But it's what the person actually feels when they walk into that space. So a luxurious space almost is like an emotion to me. Yeah.
Very interesting take. Now, Sussanne, this project draws inspiration from, it has neoclassical and Art Deco influences, right? How do you integrate that into modern living, and how did you come up with that sort of design?
The name we picked, because I felt that Stella is out of the ordinary. It's almost extraordinary, and it's something which stays amongst the stars. So when we picked this name, we wanted the world of the person who kind of wants to buy into this property to feel extremely extraordinary, and at the same time a bit of classic. A classic feeling of something that we know and we feel happy about. So we went back into time and we went into the Art Deco time period of design and architecture, and I picked up on certain very strong elements of the Art Deco time and period, which we used to have maybe in the 50s, in the 60s, or maybe even in the 30s in New York, or even in Mumbai, in old Bombay, earlier colonial Bombay, in Paris. So we picked up on these elements that we know that the people who have traveled and who have experienced life, they will be very comfortable with this kind of luxury, like this kind of design. But we brought that into the modern 2026. So we took that world of 1950s and the whole Art Deco vibe, and we brought it into this this genre of 2026. And we imbibed that into the modernness of the way the material picking, what we picked for the material, how we picked the metal, what are the doors like when you walk in, what are the designs on the ceiling, what is the flooring pattern, what are the pieces of furniture, what is the lighting. So I think that overall, there's also a philosophy for the building that it's very interesting, because there are these stories that again, in the past, in the 1950s, there are these coins that we have kind of taken inspiration from, which we've created, to the teachings of life, like what would a family or a feeling, what is the feeling of wholesomeness from a family? So there would be like something to be truthful, something to be extremely whenever you think of excellence. So we took these certain elements, these 5 different teachings, and we built our whole story around it. So it's very interesting. Right now you can't understand, but when you see the design, slowly it will unfold. But it's like almost as if when you enter the banquet of the property, or if you enter the gym of the property, or you enter, say, the terrace, you will get those, those one or two of those 5 different stories and philosophies will be imbibed in you. So it almost is like the design is interwoven into the thought. And it's not just a good-looking piece of furniture, but it has a story behind it, you know? So